In this video, I'm going to show you how to create what's called an effectiveness chart. And this is something that can be done for an entire grade level at a time or just a specific class. So we will go through both options, starting with an entire grade level. Up at the top, you have some tabs. You may or may not have district tab, depending on your permissions. But if you're wanting to run this for an entire grade level, you would start by selecting grade. And you can select your school. And I'm in a demo account, so these are not our 489 schools or students. So select your school, the grade level that you teach or are wanting to run this chart for. You can choose a category or you can leave this as all categories, that's up to you. But if you're wanting to look at a specific content area, like maybe you want to look at a math test, then you would select that category. And then you would choose your assessment suite. So whatever assessment you're wanting to look at, most likely for us that would be FastBridge. So once you have all of this information filled out for the type of report you want, you'll hit search. And then you'll get some graphs. For this one, we just have an A math graph. Yours might include CBM math, or if you did literacy, all of the literacy FastBridge assessments. So if I'm wanting to look at the effectiveness chart for this test, A math, then I'm just going to start by clicking on either bar. It's not going to matter if I click on the red or the green or the fall or the winter. It's all going to do the same thing. So I'll just click anywhere on the bar graph for the test I wanted to look at. In this case, A math is my only choice. So I'll click on that bar graph. And then over here at the left, you'll see effectiveness. So I'm going to choose that. And then we get to set what do we want to compare. Right now, I'll compare fall to winter. You could do fall to spring, winter to spring, whatever you're wanting to see how your students were growing and changing over that period of time. We can leave this as default performance band and then hit search. Okay, and this is what you'll see. The coloring might be a little bit different on our eduCLIMBER just because of the way it's set up, but it's showing you how each of your students moved. So this top tier, this blue is called advanced when we look at our FastBridge scores for 489. And if I hover over this, this shows there were 2 students that scored advanced in the fall, and if you follow the line, they stayed advanced in the winter. Okay, so those students did not decrease a level, they stayed where they were. Can then look at these kids, this group of 23 students here. In the fall, this group of students scored at that green, that low risk category. So then we can kind of see where did they go from here. So this little chunk went up to advanced. This big chunk here, and if you look in these descriptions, you see the numbers. I have 18 students I'm looking at that scored again in that low risk category. And then I can see that I have some students here that fell. So I might want to look at who is this student who fell from low risk to some risk, and really want to look at these 3 students who fell from low risk to all the way to high risk. And by clicking on any chunk of this graph, it will give me a list of who those students are. Okay, so this is an effectiveness chart. It just gives you a good picture of where your students were in the fall and where they ended up in the winter. Or again, you could do this from fall to spring, winter to spring, however you wanted to monitor that growth. So that is an effectiveness chart at the grade level. If you want to do this for just one specific class instead of the entire grade, up here at the top where we started, we would just choose class instead. You would choose your name here under user, and then the course. So for elementary, this may be like our AM attendance, or pick whichever section, middle school, high school that you want to look at, whatever period that may be. And then the same thing we chose on the grade. Do we want to look at math or literacy or behavior? Probably want to look at FastBridge and run that search again. From here, the steps are exactly the same. Click the bar graph, choose effectiveness, and from fall to winter. And now I would only get students in my class that I selected and not the entire grade level. And you'll see here this way that I ran this report, all of these students stayed in the same risk category for this class. So the effectiveness report is a great one to look at movement between tiers in your classroom and check in on students that you're noticing fall from one tier to the other.